You're rolling.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Time to do some calming yoga.
You need it.
Oh boy, do I. What's up, party people? Let's talk about getting in this fitness. We love working out with an addictive personality. As I've grown up and gotten into my full-on adulthood, I'm 24 now, I feel like the importance of creating a space in which you can exercise your body, release some of your mind juices out with your body. Working out is something that I think has become integral in my happiness, and I kind of want to pass the torch off to you guys if you're someone like me who up until recently kind of had a toxic relationship with exercise. Just to give you a brief history of where I used to spend a lot of my time exercising, I was a cheerleader in high school. I was a flyer, so I would, do workouts based on balance, core work, cardio, and a lot of times it was in a very unhealthy way because it wasn't necessarily to be healthy, it was to stay and maintain at a weight so that I could continue to be a flyer, continue to do the job that I wanted to be doing, and in general just have an obsessive relationship with working out and my diet and my weight. It was never healthy, and it was something that in my mind as a young woman was always kind of pitched to me as a way to maintain yourself, even at 14 years old. And this is something that I saw in magazines growing up, articles how to get the best summer bod, all this fucking bullshit that we still see all the time that is getting, I think, a lot better, but there is an entire industry built on making women feel shitty so that they feel like they need to exercise. So yeah, that's where I came from. And so when I would then grow up and start participating in these same activities like running or yoga or whatever, I still had that toxic mentality of I'm doing this to maintain or punish myself for something I've eaten or my lack of exercise in the past. It's more of a punishment than a gift to myself. And I would say one of the first things that really helped me have a good relationship with exercise was reframing my mindset on thinking of exercise as a punishment. Now, when I have the opportunity to work out, go to the gym, do yoga, run, whatever it is, I feel so glad to have that time to myself and that time to listen to my body and develop and feel like I'm growing as a person. First of all, if you're someone that does have this mentality, one of the easiest things that you can do to make working out less of a chore is don't do a workout that is a chore to you, okay? I mean, that seems very basic, but for instance, running was something that, like I said, I always saw as a punishment. It was something that I had a negative connotation with. And until I started incorporating it in as a way of seeing my neighborhood, getting outside, getting vitamin D from the sun, rewarding myself in a way that was so different than just sitting in a treadmill in my gym, that was a huge game changer for me when I kind of grew the confidence to be able to just run outside. And I know that sounds really silly, but it was something that I had a lot of fear around as a woman, A, because I just don't like the idea of running around on a busy street, but B, because I would feel self-conscious and I would feel well, I haven't really earned this right as another person in my neighborhood running. There was just this insecurity I had, well, what if someone sees me really out of breath that I know, or all these little weird things that I had in my head. And when I was actually, this is the time when I get to just lightly jog around the neighborhood, listen to a podcast I've been wanting to catch up on, a new album that just came up on Spotify that I've been wanting to listen to. When I rephrased it as something that was a treat or time for me and wasn't pressured by expectation, I was able to enjoy it. And the other thing that then helped me was once I did find comfort in the activity, then I started challenging myself, because I think one of the number one issues with working out as well is that if you don't do an activity that challenges you and instead you're just maintaining all the time, you don't get that sense of accomplishment as much. So for instance, when I first started running, my first goal was just run around the neighborhood, see how you feel, find a route that works for you. Route, route. Find a route that works for you, find something that feels comfortable, find another route that feels challenging. For instance, I have a hill in my neighborhood, so when I'm wanting to challenge myself a little bit more, I do an incline run up that hill. I'm just gonna run a 5K. I'm gonna run a 5K straight, I'm gonna try not to take any breaks. That's my challenge. So for like a couple weeks, I would just train myself to be able to do that. Then once I got to that point, then it's like, okay, well I can run a 5K without taking breaks. That's awesome. Now I'm gonna try to run 5 miles and I'm gonna let myself take breaks, but this is gonna be my challenge. I'm just gonna try to stay running for a little bit longer. And then after a couple weeks or a week or so, that becomes easy too. I wanna conquer this, I wanna get this done so that I feel like this sense of accomplishment and self-fulfillment. Like that is how I have to rephrase it for myself. Obviously I've used running a lot as an example, but I would also like to point out one of the biggest tips I can put out there when it comes to exercising, and one of the things that's been the most helpful for me is accessibility. So for instance, running, super accessible. You put on some shoes, you run outside, you're running. If you live in a walkable neighborhood, that's awesome. If you have a gym that you don't mind running in a gym on a treadmill, there you go, you've got it right there for you. Accessibility matters, and that's why I think yoga is awesome. I've got my 2 yoga mats back here. Yoga is awesome because you can do it at home. There's so many amazing like yoga teachers online. Yoga by Adriene is one of my favorites. She was one of the first that really got me into yoga because there was no expectation. I didn't feel like I was going into a yoga class as this newbie, like not really knowing anything. You know, I could build up my own practice at home and then feel comfortable to go out in the world and practice with other people. Kind of how I discovered my love of climbing was actually through Will, my boyfriend, because he was having this whole soul searching moment of like, I don't like any exercise, I don't like running, I don't like working out in a weight room, like nothing is interesting to me. And I totally related to that. I was like, I get you, let's find something that we both love to do. And when we went climbing for the first couple times, there was just like an instant click, because climbing is one of those things that not only is a physical exertion, but it's like a brain puzzle. You have to figure out how you're gonna get your body up on this wall. You're gonna figure out like what techniques you need to use to get to the top efficiently. And then you can kind of go back over what you've just done and figure out what techniques have kind of not worked for you or what you need to improve on. You know, if you need to be doing more hangboarding or whatever. It's a very stimulating workout. It's not something like, you know, in a weight room where you're doing a certain amount of reps and you like have to get those done and like that's it. I did the same thing that I did with running that I do with climbing now, where there was a challenge that I wanted to set for myself, and then slowly through time I've been breaking those challenges. You know, when I first started climbing, I was terrible. Like I was doing V0s, V1s, tops. Like I was barely getting up at the wall. Like I couldn't climb for more than 20 minutes because my forearms would be burning so badly. There was a clear starting point for me, but never did I once think I don't want to do this anymore because it's too hard. More than anything, I was like, I want to come back here tomorrow so I can finally do that V2 that I think I can do. Depending on the type of workout that you're going for, mastering different techniques of that workout is also really fun. Like that's the other thing I love about climbing is that, you know, you've got slab wall, you've got overhang, you've got like every different kind of incline or decline to a wall to kind of train on. I went climbing and did mostly cave work 2 days ago, and my abs are killing me. My shoulders are killing me. My hands hurt. And like that doesn't always happen with climbing because I'm not challenging myself. Yoga is something that I think is so helpful and so important in your 20s, just because A, it's meditative. It's meditative, okay? So it's something that can calm you down. You can do it before bed. You can do it when you first wake up in the morning. It's kind of like an any time of the day workout. It can be as intense as you want it to be. It can also be like a super calming thing that you could do to wind down. And it's something that you can practice in your own home, and no one can tell you really that you're doing it a wrong or a right way, as long as you are trying to connect with your body and stretch and just feel like you're improving yourself in some way. So I have like a set yoga routine that I do before I climb and before I run, just so I kind of stretch out a little bit. And then I also have different yoga poses that I'll do when I want to go to bed or whatever. But yoga is also one of those things that is easy for me to challenge myself with, because like there are headstands that you can do. There are handstands that you can do, like shoulder stretches that I think are really interesting. Crow pose, which can be kind of difficult. Like all these things that are really fun to challenge yourself with. And as you get more muscle dexterity and you get a little stronger, you have more of these tools in your arsenal where you can kind of impress yourself. And I think that's also really cool. Taking away that mentality of punishment and rewarding yourself with the feeling of power and accomplishment that comes with finding a workout that you really, really love. My number one thing that made me want to do more climbing and more like muscular activity was that I want to feel powerful. I want to feel like someone who can like stand up tall, has enough muscle to carry herself, but also can like get shit done. Like I love being an independent woman. I love being able to like carry all my groceries in one go. And like, I want to be someone who can move my own furniture. Like all of those things I can do because I got mad guns. Don't mess with me. I got mad guns. Yeah, there's something about feeling powerful to me that was important. And I think you need to find that version of whatever powerful is to you. Like for instance, if you're someone who's always really, really wanted to, I don't know, be like fucking flexible as hell, that is a form of power for you. Feeling like I am as flexible as I can ever be. I can do the splits and put my fucking head upside down and around up my ass. Like whatever your version of power is, honey, find it and then use that as motivation behind your working out. For me as well, that's why cardio was something that was so difficult for so long, because it was my punishment. It was sort of this thing that I did to try to stay thin or like exceed expectations physically. And when I realized that it was really stabilizing my mental health, especially while I was on Accutane, I just highly recommend it. If you're going through something, like there is nothing that can make you feel like you can get through anything like facing a physical feat that you've always wanted to face. And I think that's the really powerful thing about working out. It's tapping into your body's natural ability to do something awesome. And like, I don't think enough people harp on that. Your body is magic in its own way. You would be so shocked what you are capable of if you give yourself time and space to do so, and you don't beat yourself up for not being able to do it the first time around. And on a completely separate note, another great thing about working out is that you get to wear cute as hell clothes, and sometimes they're even sustainable and wonderful. Yeah, this video is sponsored. At least it was this late in the video, am I right? Yay! This video is sponsored by Organic Basics. Oh my god, I'm dying. These leggings are Organic Basics. My tank top is Organic Basics. Organic Basics is based out of Copenhagen. They started in 2015, and their big goal was to change the way people view underwear, sportswear, activewear, from this mindset of having super overly processed, overwashed, non-eco-friendly product to organic cotton, eco-friendly fabrics, recycled fabrics, and trying to reduce wastewater as much as possible. Just in general, a dope ass brand. There's a lot of cool things about the company that I love. One of the things that I ultra love is that all of their leggings and anything made with this kind of like activewear material is treated with this thing called Polygene, I think that's what it's called, that basically a silver salt treatment that makes it so that your leggings, your bras stays smelling fresher and able to be worn multiple times, so that you're not using as much water when you're washing your clothes, so that you can try to get out as much use of your clothing before you start the washing process, just to save a little water, which I think is so cool that they like even thought to design like their fabrics that way. And in general, they just have dope stuff, like this little invisible tank top. It doesn't have any visible lines, and so if you get like their underwear in this same fabric, there's no panty lines, nothing shows. It's just really nice and like keeps it all snatched and tight. So anyways, if you would like to get 15% off your first order at organicbasics.com, you can click the link in my description box. It'll be down there in the top link, so you can go get 15% off. Yeah. Anyways, that is it. Thank you to Organic Basics for sponsoring this video, and yeah, I hope that this helped you guys if you're trying to get back into working out, or it's something that you've always been passionate about, but you've had either a mental barrier or a physical barrier keeping you from doing it. Find a thing that challenges you but also makes you feel fulfilled and happy and powerful, because I think that is the magic of exercising. That's the magic of pushing your body to the limits of what it's capable of. Comment down below and let me know what workout you've always wanted to do but you've been too scared to commit to it, because I think like the first thing that you need to do is just say it out loud. Say it in the comments. Say how you're feeling. And then once you've got it all out, then you can kind of think about it, mull it over, figure out why you're having these mental blocks around this physical barrier. And then you can just like, you know, enjoy your life and try it out, you know? Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.